This week's reading story is called A Butterfly Grows. We're going to start off by hearing the words that'll be in this story.
This butterfly is getting ready to fly. 2. Anything. Do you know anything about butterflies? 3. Upon. A butterfly rests upon the leaf. 4. Kind. There is more than one kind of butterfly. 5. Places. Butterflies land on this tree in many places. 6. Also. Butterflies are insects. Ants are also insects. 7. Flower. This butterfly drinks from the flower. 8. Warm. Butterflies like the warm sun.
All right, so let's think about these words for a moment. Ready, when you're prepared to do something or you're going to do something, you are ready. Anything, 2 parts. It's a compound word. Any is a word by itself. Thing is a word by itself. When we put them together, we get anything. Upon. Also 2 little words. We say them a little bit differently when we put it together. Up is a word. On is a word. But when we say it, we say upon, not up on. But it does mean on top of something. Kind is a word that can mean 2 different things. It can mean to be nice or a type of something. Places down below. Also, flower, and warm. So when you heard these words and saw the pictures that go along with them, you can tell and get an idea that we are learning about butterflies in our story this week. If we look over here, a caterpillar story. I grew in an egg and now I crawl. I do not eat anything but a special kind of leaf. I'm eating a lot and also growing quickly. When I am ready, I will change. Then I'll be able to fly to warm places. I'll find a pretty flower to sit upon. What do you learn about me from my picture? When we look at the picture, it tells us that this is a monarch caterpillar, so it will become a monarch butterfly. We do get them around here where we live, usually later in the summer and in September. We see monarch butterflies flying through the area here where we live. We can see this is the antennae and these are the legs. During our story, we will be thinking about how things happen in order in the story. First, next, and last. This picture shows us the egg. Then the caterpillar comes out of the egg. The caterpillar will form a chrysalis, and a butterfly comes out of the chrysalis. The name of our story is A Butterfly Grows. It is by Stephen Swinburne. This man is Stephen Swinburne. He wrote the story. It says Steve Swinburne loves nature, especially butterflies. He planted a garden at his house filled with flowers that butterflies like. He took many of the pictures for A Butterfly Grows in his garden. He hopes you enjoy learning about butterflies. So this story does have real photographs taken with a camera of real butterflies.
Can you see me on the plant? I am a little caterpillar. I grew in an egg. When I was ready, I hatched.
So the egg gets attached to the leaf and the caterpillar comes from the egg.
The wind blows. I hang onto a branch so I won't fall. Rain falls. It plips and plops. I need to drink water to live, so I drink the small drops.
You can see in this picture the little droplets of water from the rain, and the caterpillar is able to get a drink from them.
This milkweed plant is my food. I need food so I can grow.
If you have ever seen a caterpillar in a garden, it will eat and eat and eat all the leaves off of a plant. For such little guys, they can do a lot of damage to a plant. They will eat the leaves, and then the plant will usually die if the caterpillar has eaten too many of the leaves, because then the plant won't be able to make food through its leaves. So you can see in this picture here all the areas that this caterpillar has eaten.
I eat this leaf for lunch. Chew, chew, crunch, munch. I eat and grow, eat and grow. Look how big I grew. My skin is so snug.
Think about that last word for a moment. Snug, snug. Snug means kind of tight. So if your feet have been growing and your shoes feel a little bit too tight, you might say that they are snug. You can probably still wear them or walk around for a couple days, but you should start looking for some new shoes. The caterpillar has been eating so much, it's growing and growing, and its skin starts to feel tight. Its skin has stretched, but it feels snug or feels tight.
I look for a spot to rest. Soon I will shed my skin.
So animals will shed their skin when they are growing. Caterpillars are some animals that do that. Some snakes also do that. So the outer layer of their skin will just come off, and they will have new skin underneath that is a little bit bigger and fits them better.
At last, I am a chrysalis. I'm an inch long. Then, in 10 days, I am ready to come out.
This is the chrysalis. So the caterpillar is inside of here. It has kind of spun this silk and just spun itself around and around. It is attached to the branch. You can see it a little bit better in this picture. So it will stay there. It says for about 10 days. After a couple days, it is kind of changed, and you can kind of see the butterfly wing through the inside of there to tell what it's going to look like as it's changing inside the chrysalis.
Look at me now. Do you see anything new?
So if you can see a little bit in this picture here, when the butterfly has come out of the chrysalis, you can see where its wings are still kind of folded and crunched up. They need a little bit of time to stretch out their wings. You can see the body, you can see his legs, his antennae, his wings. So the caterpillar has changed.
I am an insect now. I have 6 legs and large wings. My wings help me fly. Watch me fly. I have fun. My wings also help me go find plants for food. I like to fly with all my friends. We fly to warm places in the fall. We eat food along the way.
So think about that part. It says they fly to warm places in the fall. We've talked before about animals and how they move from place to place, and that is called migration. That is when we see monarch butterflies here where we live. They are migrating all the way to Mexico. So they will fly through the area where we live, usually towards the end of the summer, in August and in September.
I land upon a flower. Watch me eat now. I sip and sip. Do you know what kind of insect I am?
So you can see a little bit closer there. The butterfly has a long tongue. It's called a proboscis, or some people say a proboscis, that curls up, and they uncurl it to go down into the flower and sip the nectar out of the flower.
I am a butterfly. I'm a beautiful butterfly.
Read.
All right, and there we can see the butterfly landing on another flower. So when we think about our story and tell some of the events that happened, what happened at the beginning, what happened in the middle, and what happened at the end, we've all kind of talked about butterflies before and learned a little bit about butterflies before to know what happens. So if we think about this, back at the beginning of our story, let's see where you guys can see this here. Okay. We saw that the caterpillar came from an egg. So we can say an egg is on a leaf. Usually you will see eggs underneath of the leaf, kind of hidden, and there will be a bunch of them. And what comes out of the egg, so what happens next in our story is a caterpillar hatches. So that's what we call when it comes out of the egg. And then what does the caterpillar do? Well, its main job is to eat and grow. It eats and grows. So it eats and eats and eats, and it grows and grows and grows. It will shed its skin, it will get bigger. When it is ready, it will form a chrysalis. So the next part is it forms, or we could say makes, a chrysalis. All right, and the chrysalis is attached to a tree or a branch, usually somewhere in a safe place. And it says about 10 days, sometimes it's a little bit longer. After that, a butterfly is ready. So the butterfly breaks out of the chrysalis and is ready to find some flowers and to fly and be a butterfly. So when we think about putting things in order in our story, how did they happen? What happened first? What happened next? What happened then? What happened last? It helps the story make sense. It helps us remember the different parts of the story. And it helps if we want to tell somebody else what happened in our story.